Chairman Weston is excused tonight, and in his absence, I will call the February meeting of the West Bend Parks and Recreation Commission to order and acknowledge that we have quorum. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you. Look for approval of minutes from last month's meeting.
Motion approved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carries. All right, unfinished business. Ryan, you want to talk about finances from Regner Beach?
Yes. So there is an Excel sheet attached to all of the agendas that you should have in front of you. We'll just work top to bottom, starting at the top with Regner Beach expenses. The first set of columns and rows is the beach house attendance. The left-hand side working to right is just kind of the number of staff, number of hours, cost of staff, hours per day, anticipated operation days, and then finally going to projected costs for summer of 2024, and then actual costs of 2023 and 2021. As you can see, beach house attendance, a slight increase. I do have a handful that are returning back, so obviously increased wage costs more money. So that is most of the increase there. Moving down to lifeguards, similar situation. Definitely plan on hiring a few more lifeguards this year than I had last year. Last year, I believe I had 24 lifeguards. I'm anticipating that I'll be at about 32 this year. Out of those 32, the vast majority of them would be returning. All returning guards would get $18.50 an hour. So I factored in $18.25 for the hourly wage for all of them. Moving down into the bonuses a little bit, the biggest difference there is going to be the hire-on bonus. I kind of reduced the bonus structure there, so the amount paid out there is going to be more than half of what it was in 2023. Retention bonus, all of the guards will get that as long as they, work the entire summer, $250 each there. And then made subtle changes to the hours work bonuses, but anticipate a slight increase there just because better to err on the side of caution, I guess, and be high than low. And then new this year, referral bonus. So it takes a little bit of the pressure off of me for having to try and go out and find staff and doing some recruiting that way. So new bonus for that this year, anticipating about 10 or so of that. Final column, supervisor lifeguard. Biggest change there is I am going to go with 3 supervisor lifeguards instead of 2 this year. There was just a handful of times where one was on a trip and the other wasn't feeling good or their schedules didn't align. So I just think that it's better for all things Regner Beach operationally to have 3 instead of 2 moving forward. Last line, beach supplies. Try and keep it a little under what we were in 2023. 3,500 is what I would anticipate there. Just things that we need day-to-day operationally. Lifeguard tubes, walkie-talkies, bullhorns, things that break, just a part of doing business there. Which leads us to the bottom line projection for 2024 expenses of $152,000. $152,917.42. Slight increase there of what was actually occurred in 2023 by about $6,000. Moving down to revenues, left to right, you'll see 2021 actual numbers and sales amounts, 2023 actual numbers and sales amounts, and then projected gross in 10, 15, and 20% increments off of the 2023 actuals. The one new thing that we will be adding this year is the Regner inflatable zone. So the gross there, we're taking 10% users, so for the 10% column, 10% users of the 13,864 times 10% times $4, which is going to be the fee to use the inflatable zone. Same thing for 15%, same thing for 20%. For the projections column on the far right there, I went with the 15% growth across the board. Obviously, hopefully it's higher, but I think 15% is the best number that I would have chose out of those three. And then last column is the Washington County subsidy. In 2023, we had $66,200 come from the county to help with the offset costs, increased costs of lifeguarding. This year we're down to 75%. So that would be $4.88 per lifeguard hour worked and $2.25 per beach house attendant hour worked that we would get back from the county when we do all of our reconciling at the end of the summer. So that amount would be projected to be $47,921.72, which would put our total revenues at $129,586.44, excuse me. That would take the net loss that we would be projecting for Regner in 2024 to $23,330.98. Some things that we're trying to do differently this year, first and foremost, the inflatable zone. Hopefully the 15% growth is on the low end. Hopefully it's closer to 20-25%. That's obviously going to increase the revenues to lessen the loss that we are projecting currently. But yeah, it's going to be very important in the next handful of years to figure out ways to increase revenues as the Washington County money gets lower and lower. Just round numbers, in 2025, we'd be looking at about $33,000. In 2026 at about $16,500 before that program with the county would come to an end. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Mike?
Obviously last summer and looking forward to this summer, very successful last year, this year. Hopefully the inflatables will increase some of our revenues, but ultimately financially for our entire rec division, this beach operation is the biggest challenge. It's our biggest loss by a lot. Ultimately, if we keep moving in this fashion, losing the county money with the beach operations, ultimately sometime in 2026, we will no longer have funding in our rec account. We will be done, that way. So again, I think Ryan's doing an outstanding job. Dan's guys support with the inflatables this year. I think that should be huge. We're very fortunate. We have a great partner to the north, Kewaskum, giving us a deal on that. Ryan's doing some additional things in the concessions this year to drive some of that up. One of our special events this evening is a beer garden that Ryan and our Gears group is working on, just a 2-day smaller kind of chillax type beer garden at the beach house, but again, to generate some revenues. So we're trying to do that. We're trying to increase our revenues, but the Regner swim pond is not a revenue generating business. It's not. If it was, we'd have lots of private companies excavating swim ponds and things like that. It doesn't happen. It's a quality of life thing, and I think it's great, and it's been part of this community for over 85 years. Excuse me. And obviously we want it very successful. It's just in the future we're going to need some financial assistance.
Are the funds that are made on renting out the beach house, can that be applied to this loss?
At this point in time, any rental fees for the beach house go to the general fund.
Okay, and that's the fund you were talking about. We're going to run out of.
No, general fund is city administration.
City general fund.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I thought you guys had a general fund.
That goes into there and pays.
Never mind. I know.
It might pay for these lights or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So the fund I'm referring to is our rec enterprise account.
That's what I thought you were talking about. Yeah.
So again, without our mud run, we would be in a lot of trouble.
Well,
because that generates a tremendous amount of revenue for us.
And it seems like that any rental of the beach house should go towards. How do I fix that?
Yeah.
How do we fix that?
Yeah.
Fix that.
Yeah, city administration.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think they would be open to that discussion once we get to kind of that point.
Well,
But
maybe we should fix it before that point.
Justice, I
Okay.
understand.
Okay.
Yep.
You mean to not run a
Noted.
deficit?
Yeah.
Not run a deficit?
So you know where I'm coming from.
Yep. Okay.
All right, so I look for a motion to approve the budget.
Motion approved.
We have a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions for Ryan? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. All right, budget carries, motion carries. All right, next item of business is the nature playground at LLC. Mike?
Nature Playground, we are not going to request any action on that item this evening. Our schedule for that right now is March 20th. Show the final plan and cost estimates to the Friends of Lawrann board before we bring it to the commission. So we like to have their board weigh in on it first. So no action on that item for this evening. Thank you.
New business, overnight camping at Lawrann Conservancy. Mike?
Over the past several decades, Shorewood High School has conducted a student canoe trip down the Milwaukee River. They start up on Mothie Lake and they finish down in the Milwaukee Harbor. Annually, this group overnight camps at Lawrann Conservancy. It's a great site for them. We have restrooms, things like that. If they have inclement weather, we can move them inside. They've been camping there for many, many decades, really. So they are requesting overnight camping at the Conservancy June 12th of this year.
Can we bundle those next two items because they have to go together, right?
If you
The
like,
variance.
we could.
Yeah.
Sure.
The variance and park hours.
The next item would be a Miss Abby Hadley, a West Bend resident. Abby and her fiance have the Conservancy rented for a 3-day wedding package, August 31st through September 2nd. They are requesting a 30-minute extension to 11:30 that evening on September 1st. They want to play the band and music till 10:45, give everyone 45 minutes to get out. When I talked to Abby about cleanup and all that, they have the facility rented again the next day, 3-day wedding package. They just wanted a couple extra minutes with the band and all that, and they wanted to ask permission and not just, hey, let's stay a little late. So we would recommend approval on that.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved.
I second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. All right, both carried. All right, athletic court evaluation, Ryan.
All right. Mike had approached me to do this, just something different than my typical day today, so more than happy to take this on. Wanted to look at the courts that we have in West Bend, baseball, pickleball, and basketball, tennis, pickleball, compared to local cities and then similar demographic cities, more regionally than local. So we'll start on page 11, kind of work top to bottom. Barton Park, I guess we'll just go right to the notes. You guys can look at the quantities there. In my opinion, complete loss. The overall court's in pretty poor condition, both basketball and tennis. In the future, it's going to probably need to be completely redone or would require a fresh build or completely removed. Bicentennial was just done last summer, a half basketball court. Decorah Hills was last sealed and resurfaced in 2001. In 2016, it was up for discussion by the Parks and Rec Commission at that time to be a pickleball hub. It was between Quas Creek and Decorah Hills at that point, because Decorah Hills is a neighborhood park versus community. Quas Creek was voted as becoming the pickleball hub for West Bend. And there was a change in the dollar allocation for the CIP to pull it from Decorah Hills to put it towards the improvements at Quas there. At that time, it was noted that in 2016, it was noted that Decorah Hills probably had a 5 to 10 year lifespan left. So we are at 8 years from that point in time. It's not quite to the degree of roughness that Barton's at, but it is approaching that. So similar situation, something's gonna need to be done with Barton in the future. Prairie Meadow, built in 2008, good condition, no real concerns there. Quas Creek, last resurfaced in 2016. There's some minor cracks forming there, likely is gonna need to be addressed within about 5 years, mostly because of the high degree of usage that court sees. 6 months of the year, it's used every morning for a handful of hours by a bunch of people playing pickleball. Regner, one thing, right now I have notated 4 pickleball courts in the spring while they're permitting. We are going to have that updated to 6 with the final tennis court having 2 more pickleball courts added to it. Minor cracking last completed in 2018. And then the sports court also, that has the only hard court volleyball court in the system, West Bend Park system. Unfortunately, with some vandalism, when we're done programming that for our summer volleyball, we have to take the net down. Otherwise, Dan and the parks crew are having to fish the net out of the fishing creek. So it's kind of an unfortunate situation there, but it's happened a handful of times in the just under 2 years that I've been here. Ridge Run Park, it was last resealed, resurfaced in 2006 prior to the city taking ownership of it. Tennis courts are in pretty decent shape. There's one pretty major crack. And then the basketball court is more asphalt than the sports court finish, but that seems to be in pretty good condition other than the faded painted lines. Riverside, resealed and painted 2020, good condition, no concerns there. Villa Park, similar to Barton, would be either a complete tear out or a complete redo just because of the condition of the basketball court, deep cracks, faded paint. Not a good situation going on there, but again, it's a lower use neighborhood park. And Ziegler, there's a half basketball court painted on there. Again, it's more asphalt than court surface. Asphalt's in good shape, just some fading paint. Going on to the next page, that's kind of the comparison to local and regional cities, similar size. Getting out into the more regional ones, I guess the general note that I have on the side, so the court surface listing was done in an attempt to exclude any additional courts not owned by each municipality, for example, school district courts, county courts, etc. Because it's become common practice to paint 2 pickleball courts on 1 tennis court. Not all pickleball/tennis courts listed are solely dedicated to either sport. Half basketball courts were ones that only had 1 hoop. It wasn't a full court. I found all of this information looking at municipal parks and open space plans, the recreation plans for cities, activity guides, similar to what we have in our summer one. There's a map that lists all of the amenities at certain parks. And if those prior documents didn't have the information I was looking for, I resorted to Google Maps on the aerial view and did a little investigating that way. These numbers definitely aren't 100%. A parks and open space plan could have been done in 2015, and then they could have executed some additions or removals of basketball, pickleball, tennis courts, but I'd say overall a pretty solid representation of the quantity of other courts that other regional and local municipalities have. Looking at the West Bend versus the average, we are higher than the average, so that's good to see. Definitely something that the West Bend Park system should be proud of. But going back to what we do have, I'd specifically like to highlight Barton, Decorah Hills, Ridge Run, and Villa Park. I would say that those are probably the 4 in the next handful of years that there's going to need to be some discussions had and decisions made about what the future of those are. As we all know, the capital improvement money only goes so far, and you can plan for something to be done in the next handful of years, but it only takes a truck breaking or something big, material changing, for something to get pushed back down the line in the CIP budget. So, yeah, and then I guess other considerations, just for hypothetically Barton Park, if we would remove something, do a replacement with the traditional asphalt or the court surfacing, or another thing that's become popular, snap courts over the top. So when we do look into making decisions on those are all things to take into consideration. So.
School district.
Oh yeah, I did also reach out to the school district, both the East and the West AD. Erin at West got back to me. She said that the only courts that the city of West Bend owns that she was aware of the school system using was the Riverside tennis courts from time to time, but it didn't sound like there was a ton of usage there. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right, thank you. Good information. Are these going to be integrated into the development plans then?
We would like to include some of this in our capital improvement plan and capital improvement budget. This is something we've been wanting to do for a year or so. Really take a look at what we have and the comparables. And, so many times we hear, oh, we need more pickleball, we need more pickleball. And I don't disagree with that, but if I talk to a rugby player, we need rugby fields. And if I talk to a lacrosse player, we need more lacrosse fields.
Right.
Is there a need for pickleball courts? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think right now, and with the discussions Ryan and I have had and the information we have here, Ridge Run would be a great opportunity for that. But we need the university parking to help support pickleball courts there. We don't know what the future is of that for that parking. Even if the university stayed a university, I think it's permit parking over there during the day. And so we would have to work through some of those logistics. But the one thing with pickleball, okay, we're going to have traffic and it's noisy, so we can't, again, in 2016, we looked at the Cora Hills. We didn't want to put pickleball, wooden mallets over it, all that noise. I don't think the neighbors would be real happy. With some of these courts and some of these activities, we just need to really be careful with it. If we're going to change something, we'd want to include the neighbors. But Ridge Run, those courts are in pretty decent shape. Resurface them, repaint them into pickleball would be awesome.
Great.
We just need to know what's happening with the university parking and things like that. So we have some parking over there, just it's not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are the court? Is there's tennis?
Right off of university, right on university.
So when you pull in the
As soon as you pull in, look to your left.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Huh.
And they're in pretty decent shape. And we
I guess
have
I just
parking on the road and a little parking lot right there. But if we put pickleball courts there, they're going to be parking that entire lawn to be parked full and all that. And I'd park there too, till Dan puts up signs.
Courts get used almost every day.
Yeah. So, and like Ryan had mentioned, our last tennis courts in Regner, they're going to get overlaid this early summer, spring, and that'll be great. That'll really support that activity, and that's a great location for it. Go make noise, go have traffic, and we have restrooms right there. We have lots of parking. Mm-hmm. They got to watch out for foul balls once in a while, the pickleballers do, and things like that. But it's a great location. The community park for an activity like that it's a smart move. To Cora Hills, that's why we didn't put it there.
Right.
So.
Okay. Great information. Thank you, Ryan. That's good. Next order of business is special events. Mike?
Yep. Give me 1 second. All right. So Chairman Wesson and I, we kind of went through our special events. Many of our events are no fees and things like that. But Mike felt that it was important that the commission and the community see and understand the quantity and quality of the events that we're doing. So in an effort to save time and evaluation by the commission and things like that, this evening for item number 4, that'll actually be 10 special events for that item. All 10 of those are no fees. And I can go through those real quick. If there's questions as we're going through them, please ask or wait till the end, but I'll get through all 10. Let the commission make that one vote, for all 10. They're so very much similar. We just thought it'd be a great way to review them, but yet save a little bit of time. So before we get started with any of the events, these events do need city permits, so it does go through the clerk's office. That does include liability insurance and all that. So even if there's no fees and we might be partners with the events and things like that, all of those needed items are still part of that event. Those boxes still need to get checked. So, all right.
I like it that these places are all being used, and every year it's more and more.
Yep.
So I think it's outstanding.
Yeah. No, so I think this year we're north of 56 events,
See, that's
which
crazy.
is, yeah.
That's good.
So the first event is Bachfest, which is this Saturday. Again, I know it's right around the corner, but Mr. Wesson and I were, still reviewing this process, so that's why this one's a little late. This event is put on by the City of West Bend. It will be held in Regner Park. Next event is the Easter egg hunt, which will be co-hosted with the Lions Club, March 23rd. That again will be in the Regner Park entertainment area, same location as last year. The third event is the Kids Fishing Clinic with the Early Risers Kiwanis. That will be in Regner Park, April 13th, again, up by the entertainment area, the fish pond. A really cool free event, again, for all the youth in the community. The next event is Spring Cleanup with Roots and Branches. Roots and Branches is looking to host that event April 20th. This event directly supports all park property in the community. They send volunteers out and they cover 1,300 acres of parkland and help us out cleaning up our community. Next event, which is a continued event, I think it's 3 or 4 years now, the Baird Shred event, which will be held May 9th in the Kister Island parking lot. Next event would be the Lawrann Wildflower Sale with the Lawrann Board. Mother's Day weekend, May 11th. Again, huge success, a very successful event out of Lawrann. A great fundraiser for our activities out there. And if you're looking for some native plants at a reasonable cost, you get a nice quality plant out there. Next event is the Fun Run with the school district, Silverbrook Intermediate School. Looking at doing their 5K, May 29th, using May 30th as a rain date. Kister Island parking lot, Eisenbahn Trail, and the Riverwalk. It's a pretty cool event to see the entire intermediate school out there running and hustling. Next one is a new event for this year. It is the Regner Park Beach Beer Garden. As we mentioned earlier, this is being organized by our Gears organization and our Recreation Division, Mr. Schmidt. We are looking at doing a 2-day beer garden at the beach house, May 31st and June 1st. This is more of a chillaxed environment, not a large beer fest like we're having this weekend. We'll market this, hey, bring your bag chair, come down to Regner, chill out. We're gonna have music, food, beverages. Ryan's looking at a pickleball tournament in Regner Park on that Saturday. Maybe a coupon for those participants to come on over to the beach house to hang out there. He's also looking at scheduling a bags tournament. Ryan's already met with Josh Ham, our disc golf guy, about setting up a temporary 9-hole disc golf course in the park. Maybe 2 tee pads, maybe even using the swim pond because it won't be open yet as a water hazard. So kind of a cool beer garden. Should be a fun event. I think it'd be kind of a cool event. Some local music, come down to the park, chill out. A little bit of a fundraiser, hopefully for Gears and for our rec division. So that's a new event for this year. Next event is the Friends of Park and Recreation. Again, hosts their annual beer garden. Their summer kickoff in Regner Park, June 14th and 15th, up at the beer garden, or up at the entertainment area. And the last no-fee event would be a West Bend Athletic Association Adult Softball Tournament out at Quas Creek, June 21st through the 23rd. In the past, this was a youth event. Nitro organization, instead of having 2 youth events or tournaments, they only need 1 this year. So the adults said they would like to use that weekend and host an adult softball tournament. So again, it could be a good money maker for the Athletic Association that supports our operations out at Quas Creek.
So look for a motion to approve these events and waive fees. We
I make the motion.
have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carries. All 10 events are approved. All right, donations.
Oh, good. Now we got 3 paid events yet.
Oh, okay.
Item 5, 6, and 7.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Okay, item 5, Farmers Market. Downtown West Bend Association is requesting approval to hold Farmers Market using Old Settlers Park, May 18th through October 26th. The associated fees are noted below.
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. All right, Downtown Farmers Market, approved. Music on Main.
Music on Main, Downtown West Bend Association, again, looking to hold Music on Main, Old Settlers Park, the evenings of May 30th through September 5th, and the fees are associated fees are noted below.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, Music on Main is approved. West Bend Little League Father's Day Tournament.
West Bend Little League again is requesting to host their Father's Day tournament June 14th through the 16th at Quas Creek, Riverside Park, and Carl Cuss Field. Quas Creek Park and Carl Cuss Field, there are no fees because of the MOUs that we have with the Baseball Association and the Athletic Association. For the Riverside Park softball, the total should be $460, not the $360 that's noted on your sheet.
All right. For motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions for Mike? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, Little League carries. Now donations.
All right. I have the first three. The first one is from West Bend Mutual Insurance Company Charitable Trust for $2,500 for their sponsorship of the Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. So thank you to West Bend Mutual Insurance for that. Second is Delta Defense LLC for $1,250 for their sponsorship of the Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. Thank you to Delta Defense. And third is Dielectric Manufacturing Inc. for $1,250, again for sponsorship of the Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. Thank you to Dielectric Manufacturing for that.
I have the next one. I have the next one, which is the Knights of Columbus held a free throw contest at Holy Angels School. They raised $65, which was matched by Judy Steffes for a total of $130 for Special Olympics.
And the final donation tonight is from Friends of Lawrann Conservancy, who funded improvements to the north entrance to the barn at Lawrann. The work was performed this past fall by BMCI Construction of West Bend, and the value of the donation is $12,450. Thank you to Friends.
I look for a motion to approve these donations with our thanks.
I motion to approve.
All right. Second. All right. We have a motion and a second. Any further questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Thank you. All right. Reports. Chairman is in warmer weather. I just want to tell everybody to get your Bachfest tickets before 10 o'clock tomorrow. 10 o'clock tomorrow night?
10 p.m.
10 p.m. tomorrow night. All right. That's all I got. Rick, project manager.
A few projects to update you on. We are hoping to wrap up plans for improvements to the Ridge Run cabin this week, in fact, and come to this commission next month to request permission to go to bid. Second project, the Nature Playground at Lawrann, Mike mentioned. We have wrapped up conceptual design to the point where we can finalize budgets to pursue fundraising, and we'll be coming back next month to present that to the commission. I am in the process of soliciting quotes for seal coating the parking lot at Quas Creek. We have that funded to the tune of $25,000, and we anticipate the work being performed this fall, following the conclusion of baseball and softball seasons. And finally, our department's been working with administration and the consultants for the downtown master plan, GRAFE, on the process of identifying the plantings for the downtown Main Street. We are locating planters through the downtown area, and the next step is identifying tree species and ordering those plants for installation yet this spring, early summer.
Great. All right. Thank you. Recreation Supervisor, Ryan, you have anything further to add?
A couple quick things. Swimming lesson session one ended last Saturday. Good turnout there. A lot of kids moving on to the next level. So super proud of my staff for all of their work there. Session 2 begins March 9th and ends April 16th. Starting tomorrow, I'm beginning to interview a handful of lifeguards that threw their name in the hat to become one of the 2 additional supervisors at Regner for the summer. So that'll be fun to learn about why the lifeguards think they're qualified and being able to pick the 2 that are going to be able to become a supervisor for this year. Lifeguarding course, I have 8 that are enrolled. 2 had to switch out and take a YMCA course, but not an issue there. So that will be my next couple of Saturdays, the 9th, 16th, and 23rd of March. And then just starting to plan for spring sports, which begin in early April. So track, baseball, soccer, and then archery on Saturdays.
Great.
So.
Thank you.
Mud run registration does open on tomorrow, March 1st at 6 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Bright and early.
Yeah.
Parks and Forestry, Dan?
Pruning will be coming to an end next week, Friday. You guys gotten through 2 1/4 areas this winter with the lack of snow. So hopefully at the next meeting, I can give you a grand total of how many trees we've gotten to. We've been busy with Bachfest prep and Bachfest setup, so that's been kind of a big thing for us. The last of our auction items that were out there sold, so now we have a good amount of money to put through a new UTV, which will hopefully be coming within the next month or 2. We just got to finalize some stuff with quotes. Yesterday we started opening up some gates. With the weather being the way it is, we're going to have to start getting nets up, and I'm going to see if we can, I don't want to jump the gun, but I want to make sure that bathrooms and everything are going to be accessible, so we're going to have to look at long-term forecasts, try to work with building maintenance, get it opened up for public use sooner than later. Other than that, we're going to start switching stuff over to winter, to winter, yeah. We're going to start switching stuff from winter to summer, start getting ready to go. So, like Rick said, we'll be quite involved with the trees on the downtown deal. So if we can get some of this other stuff ahead of schedule, that'll hopefully open up some time for us.
Great.
So,
Thank you. Sure. Director's report, Mike? You have anything to add?
Carolyn and Tanya, Ryan, excellent job getting our summer booklet out again. It's a tremendous amount of work. Proofread upon proofread upon proofread. We want to make sure everything's ready, the costs associated with it, wording, everything else. So great effort there. Mike had kind of mentioned earlier about our facilities and the different events we have. Again, this year, new events, we have our Bachfest, we have our Rec Division and Gears Beach Beer Garden. We also have Moose Fest this year. The Moose Lodge is going to be holding something in Regner Park. So we have great facilities for these events. I'd like to think we offer a pretty good product for these events. And it's just kind of fun to work with all these different groups and the people in the community, things like that. So that's always a tremendous amount of work, but it's enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. The downtown pots and plants and everything else, this is a project that we were not anticipating for 2024. Our department, originally with the downtown Main Street redesign, one ad alternate part of that contract was about $40,000 worth of raised pots or planters for general vegetation, no trees, some perennials, maybe some annuals, things like that. The city did not have funding available for that $40,000, so the pots were never ordered, never installed as part of that contract. As Rick had noted, part of the downtown master plan are these pots. These pots are planters for accessory vegetation, maybe some shrubs, some perennials. 23 pots, Rick, something like that, are for trees. These pots are 72 inches in diameter and they sit 42 inches high. And once we place them and fill them with soil and a tree and water, they weigh 4 tons.
Wow.
Yeah. And someone has to place them all. Someone has to put the soil in them. Someone has to put the plant material in them. And someone has to maintain all of these and irrigate them all. And none of that is in our budget. So we are working through a lot of those logistics. So I just mentioned that because this is, it's a great thing that's happening in our downtown, and we support it, and it's wonderful. We have a leadership group that is financially supporting this entire process, and they're awesome to work with. And so it's another huge project for us and our staff for this spring, early summer, that it was not on our books. So obviously, we would be flexible and support this, no kidding, because it's going to be pretty cool. But it's definitely going to provide our department some challenges just with our staffing levels, just to get everything incorporated, much less maintaining it. So beyond that, I was going to mention Bachfest, but it's already been taken care of. So thank you, everyone.
All right, as there's no further business, we are adjourned.